Lots of codes in C programming that we are going to use to make a calculator. Yeah, so to use those codes of C programming, we should include some header files. So to use those codes, we should include some header files such as stdio.h, conio.h, include clude conio.h, and include stdlib.h. Yeah, these are the basic things. Yeah, these are the header files that we have to include to use those codes in C programming. So whatever we are going to write in C programming, whatever the codes we are going to write in C programming, whatever the thing we are going to write in C programming, we write inside main function. So we will create one main function, that is void main, and at last of this main function, always don't forget to write gets. It will hold the screen, okay? And at the last of every code, just write this symbol, so that I'm telling the computer that this is the end of the code. So now I want to print a message. Is suppose I want to say printf. I want to write a message such as welcome to my calculator. Welcome to my calculator. Now I'll just run it, okay, and just see it will create welcome to my calculator. So now what I want to do is just for making a calculator, suppose I'll just show you something just like integer variable. I'll create some variables, okay? Suppose I want to create a variable, suppose a is equal to 5. Suppose we have to create a variable to store the value. Suppose I will create a variable a. I want to store a value that is 5 value inside this variable. Suppose this is the variable where I want to store a value. So whenever you want to create a variable, or whenever you want to use a variable in C programming in which you want to store a value, yeah, so you should declare that variable first. Suppose I want to use a variable a and b and c and d, okay? I want to just use variable, no, a and b only. So I want to declare. So for what these variable are used, first thing that I want to use this variable for storing values, suppose 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, yeah, and I want to use b for storing 2 or 3 or 30 or 300. So these are the integers value I want to store in the variable. So declare it with integer, just write int, I'm declaring it, and write a. I want to just write int and write the variables that you want to use, a and b. So I'm declaring it a and b. So I am declaring a and b. So okay, so now I want to give some a is equal to 5, some values to the variable, and b is equal to 10, yeah, and I will just add them. Suppose I want to add a plus b. I want to add them a plus b, so it will give some result. As we know, it will give some, so I will have to store this result in some variable. That is, I will store this result in one variable c, but it will give me error. Why? Because I haven't declared this variable also. I have to declare this c variable. If I want to use this variable, if I want to use any variable, I should have already declared that variable, but I haven't declared this variable c. Suppose I want to print the variable printf. I want to print the result, okay? So how to print a result? Whenever you want to print some integer variable, write percentage d and comma. So in this percentage d, I want to print c. So c variable, so it will give me error, okay? See, it is giving me error because undefined symbol c, this c has not been declared. So I will declare c. Now will it give me error? Now just run it. See, welcome to my calculator, and this is giving me result that is 15. Yeah, I'm printing the result that is c. It is stored in c. And this, why do we write percentage d? If we want to print integer variable, we have to write percentage d. Yeah, there are lots of variables such as float, or let's just work with integer variable for now. Okay, so okay, now I'm creating a variable. For now I'm creating a variable a and b only, and I don't want to give a and b the value just like this in coding. For I just want to ask the user for inputting this variable a and b. So to ask the variable, just write scanf. No, first just I will write printf, printf, to ask the user. Okay, I will ask first, then so please enter value of a. I will ask this. Okay, now it will just say please enter the value of a. Now it is creating in same line, it is printing in same line, so I want to give in new line. I want to create a new line. Suppose I will create here printf. I'll create one new line so that it will just be printed in next line, and I'll give /n. It will give me new line. Okay, no, not load. I'll debug it and run. Yeah, I'll modify this code. Just is declared compiling. Just click here and again run it. Okay, welcome to my calculator. Please enter the value of a. Now I have to enter the value of a. For entering, suppose I don't want to print this new line here, I want to print this new line here. It will work if I will print this new line here. Yeah, okay, now let's just debug it. See, it will work. Yeah, so now please enter the value of a. So now to just get the value from user, we will write scanf. It will just it will ask some input. Okay, so what type of input do I want to ask? So I want to ask some integer input. Yeah, okay, so I want to ask some integer input. So I'll just write here %d if I want to ask integer input. Yeah, and then I will give comma, and this syntax will ask the user for input, and if the user will type the input or give the input, so where do we want to store that input? If the user gives us the input, where do we want to store this input? So I want to store in a, this variable. Yeah, so in which variable you want to store, just write that variable should have been declared at first, and just write comma and just write and symbol and a. This will, and symbol means here address. I want to insert in this address of a, that means I want to insert in a. Okay, so now let's just print print f, and I will just print the result. Okay, suppose a, suppose the number that has been stored in a, so %d comma a. Suppose here I will run. Okay, now was the wrong a, I understood statement missing. That means in the last of every code we should write this symbol. Okay, now let's just run it. Enter the value of a. I will write 9 and enter it. Yeah, 9 is giving, it is giving me 9. Okay, so it's working. Yeah, and after this I want to just again create a new line so that it will ask me this input in new line. Okay, now this is the integer. Okay, enter the value of a. Okay, again let's just run it. Enter the value of a. I will create 9, then it will give me 9. Okay, now it's cool, it's working. So now please enter the value of a, and again I want to just print f, and I want to say please enter the value of b. Please enter the value of b. This will just print a message. It will not just store the value of b, it will not it's just printing a message. Okay, say it's not working now. Why is it? I think it's not responding. Wait. Okay, it was not responding, so I wrote this all code again. Okay, I'll run it. Okay, now see, please enter the value of a. It is, and I will enter 9. Then it will say please enter the value of b. Unless I will not enter the value of a, it will not run the code below it. Okay, now it will just say unless I will not give the input here, it will not run this code. Okay, now this is perfect, this is working perfect. Now I just want to say please enter the value of b, but I want to just ask the user for input and scanf. It will ask the user. This is only printing a message. It is not asking the user, it is only printing message. To ask the user for input, we should use scanf. And what type of input we want to ask, that is percentage, that is integer input. And I will just write here, and I want to store this in b. Okay, now address of b, yeah, it will store in b. So I want to just do here sum. Yeah, that is, I will just not write here, I will use sum, the variable called sum. So in this variable I want to do some calculation here, a plus b, and I want to create the sum. And I just want to print this in new line. And okay, now printf, and I'll just write the sum of a and b. A and b is is something. So I'll write, and what is this something? That is sum. So I'll write here comma, and in place of this something, just print the value of sum. Okay, now I'll just debug it. Okay, please enter the value of a or 10, value of b 20, the sum is 30. Yeah, it is giving me perfect. Now I will just make it a bit nice one. So how to make it nice one? Just write please in the sum of a and b. No, the sum of percentage d and percentage d is, that is the sum of, I'll write here a comma b comma sum. Now the sum of a, the value you put here in a, it will give that value as message, and b, the value of b, and it will give the value of sum. It will give here value of a, value of b, and value of sum. Okay, just I will just debug it. Now see, please enter the value of a, that is 10. I have given the value of a as a 10, and value of b I will give 30. Now the sum of value of a, that is 10, and 30 is 40. It will give us like this. See, the sum of a and b is 30. Yeah, percentage d, you can write the code like this. Okay, so I just don't want to, I want to create sum and difference, diffference, difference product, duct, and division. Okay, now I'll just write here sum and difference, erence is equal to differe, and just you need to write the correct word spelling. Okay, otherwise it will give you error, a minus b. And I want to just calculate product to a into b, and I want to do some division to division. Division is a divided by b. So I will just print here the sum. Okay, just copy it, copy, and 1 2 3. This is for sum, difference, product, and division. This is for difference, difference, and I want to create difference of a and b is, this will be difference, difference, and sum of a and b is, this will be different. No, this will be, no, this the sum of product. We are the product of a and b is the, what is this, sum, difference, and product. These are the variables I'm using. These variables Yeah, this variable, in place of this it will just print out the value of this product. Yeah, it will print the value of A, it will print the value of B, and it will print the value of product. It will print the value of, now I want to print division SION of A and B is division DIVISION. So now let's just debug it and run it. Okay, please enter the value of A. I'll write 10, B 5, sum is 10 and 5, sum of 10 and 5 is 15, the difference of 10 and 5 is 5, the product of 10 and 5 is 50, the division of is 2. Now these all are creating in new line, so I will just, these all are printing the messages in new line. Yeah, so I want to, no, in same line, so I will create new line at the end of each so that it will print the messages all in new line. Okay, /n. Okay, now let's just run it. Enter the value of A 10, enter the value of B, that is 20, no 5. Yeah, sum is this. Now I will tell you the difference between integer and float. Okay, now here comes another data type, that is float. Suppose I'm using integer here, so now see, I'll give you the difference. Suppose, just debug it, run, and I'll just use your calculator. Yeah, and see, I'll just 10 divide by 9, what is the result? 1.11. Yeah, but this our program will give 1, so I'll just say 10, enter the value of A and B is 9, so division will give you 1, it will not give you exact number. Because why? Because the integer variable, this division is integer variable. Yeah, I'm storing division, I'm calculating A divided by B, it will give, that is 10 divided by 9, 10 divided by 9, I'm doing it, and it will give you result 1.11111, 1.1111. But as this division is an integer variable, it will only take the value, this value only, not this, not the value after this decimal. It will just take this value only as it is integer. So this will create a problem for just writing a program where we want the value like, what do we say, the value like, if we want a value like, mm, um, value like decimal. Okay, if we want to store here decimal 2, the value of decimal 2, like that, so we just have to give this variable that no, it is not integer variable, it is a floating variable, float and division VISION. So if I'll say this is the floating so variable, so it will take all the value, all the, what do we say, all the, suppose 10 divided by 9 is 1.111, it will take the decimal value also, it will give you the result 10.1 a 1.1111, suppose. And if we want to print here the division, see, this is, we are printing division variable here, in print we are printing division variable, so division variable is not integer data type, so it is a floating data type, so we have to replace here and address F also. Okay, so now let's just debug it and let's just run it. Now 10, I'll write 9, see 1.000, it is giving 1.000. Why? Floating, it should give me, oh, now I understood. See why it is giving me, because if we want to do division, if this is the floating variable, this and this should also be floating variable. Okay, else it will not give you the result on floating variable. So what do we say? I'll write A comma B, or we can say, no, I'll write A comma B here. I will not write here. Okay, now I'll just debug it and run it. Please enter 10, 20. Now see, sum of 0, it is not giving me, was wrong here because it's the floating variable, so you should give, if you are taking floating variable as input, you should give like this 10.0. No, 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 it's giving here because no, I don't want to just a comma b. I'll just put it here, a comma b. I'll use separate variable such as c comma d as floating variable. Yeah, c comma d. So I'll just use here c slash d. Okay, so that it will not disturb my this program. Now I'll just print here c comma d, and it is the floating variable, so f comma f. Okay, now I'll just debug it and run. Enter the value of a 10, 20, but why am I not, it's not happening because I'm not taking the input of c and d also. So just please enter the value of c and d. Okay, I want to just enter the value of c and d also. Please enter the value of c and d. I want to say c and d, and it will store in c and d, and it is the floating data type, so I'll write percentage f and debug. Okay, run. 10, 20, a and b, and it has been stopped. It has been giving me error. Why is this? Division c divided by d. What's the reason here? Print f, print the value of floating f, percentage c and d. I'll just run, debug and run. Please enter the value of a 10. Oh, I've some input here. Let's run it. 10 2. It's stopped. I think I have done some mistake here. Floating is divided by floating variable c comma d. Oh, see this division. Now I'll just see, I have done this division part at first and I have taken input at last. So first take the input, then only do this division. Okay, that's why. Okay, now 10, 9, and print. Please enter the value of c, that is I'll enter 10 and 9. Okay, 10 and 9 is 1.11. It is giving you correct result. Okay, now if you will write 10, it will print you like 10.0000 and 9.00. Yeah, so it's okay. And I just want to again see this if anything is a mistake or not. Okay, this is working perfectly. For please enter the value of. Okay, I hope you understood it.